morning, Copenhagen. Come on, good morning, Copenhagen. Yeah, let's do it. Look around this room. Every one of you is here because you care. You care about the work. You care about the products. You care about your customers, the people you build for. And with all of the work you do, you still show up for this community. So today, I'm not here to help you move faster. No, I'm here to introduce to you a tool, a coworker that lives in your tools and finishes the work that you were unable to get to. This is Copilot Cowork, and it's how makers like you get things done. Let's do it. So here's my Wednesday in Cowork. I'm going to fire off the first task while I explain. So I have two things to do today. I have a Q2 solution review for my customer called Contoso, and I also run a Java user group on the side. I fired off the first task, and let's take a look at what I've asked Cowork to do. I'm asking it to pull together a Q2 solution review, and then to build me a rich Word recap and an interactive HTML scorecard with KPI tiles. Now, I want to show you something interesting that I've done here. I have enabled the brand new Dynamics 365 sales and customer service plugins right here. Now, why did I do this? Well, WorkIQ is already enabled in Cowork, but Contoso's business data lives in Dataverse. So I need these plugins to pull in that data and to get to work. And there are a plethora of other plugins that I have available here. I have things like Box and Canva. I have things like Monday.com down here. So Cowork can now connect to these apps where you do business and pull in data to get to work. Furthermore, I also have skills. There are some pre-built skills such as the Outreach Composer or the Business Case Composer. But I've also built my own skills, the Newsletter Builder and the Sound Like Me skill, so that Cowork can work just like me. So you can build new skills. You can actually also upload your skills into Cowork. So using plugins and skills, Cowork can work in the systems that you do and do the work the way you do it. We see here that Cowork didn't just start with building. It started with a plan. The first thing it's going to do is to get data from Dynamics. Then it's also going to pull customer service cases from Dynamics as well. It's going to pull in the documents from SharePoint using WorkIQ, and it's going to finish the rest of the plan. But why is this important? Well, because no one hired me for my ability to download CSVs. No, they hired me for what comes after, the judgment, the synthesis, all the work, the judgment. Cowork gives me back what I can do. Oh, I'm so sorry. Embarrassing. Yeah, Anders, what's up? I'm on stage. Your CFO is joining the call. What does she need to see? Okay, I can handle it. I can handle it. Okay. Sorry, folks. That was Anders. He was my sponsor at Contoso. He said that his CFO is joining the Monday call, and she wants to see the revenue at risk. So I'm simply going to ask Cowork to do just that. But notice, I didn't stop the chat. I didn't start a brand new chat. I simply asked Cowork to do this midstream, and it's going to pick it up and execute the task flawlessly. All right, it's going to take a few minutes for Cowork to continue working on this. It's going to take a few minutes for Cowork to cook. Let us look at some other things. You can see here that I have so many tasks in Cowork working in parallel. I don't have to babysit Cowork. It's just able to get to work on multiple different streams. And we can see down here the package for the user group recap is ready. So let's take a look at this. And we can see here, this is a task that I started behind the scenes, that Cowork has also executed flawlessly. It's built out a plan, and I want you to notice here, Cowork built 6 different outputs across 3 different apps. So Cowork doesn't just build you one document. It can take over and really work in the apps that you do. Excel, PowerPoint, Documents, Outlook, you name it, Cowork can do it. Right down here, we also see skills and plugins. I gave you an intro to this. Cowork has used the Word skill to build the documents, the PowerPoint skill to build the deck, the Excel skill to build the deliverables. Now, I showed you 2 skills when I started, the Newsletter Builder and the Sound Like Me skill. We're going to come back to talk about those in a little bit. But let's look at the recap that Cowork has generated for this user group session. And if you run a user group, you know how much work it takes. Multiple speakers, Q&A, multiple sessions. All that work is the kind of work that tends to fall behind when your customer comes calling, but not today. Cowork carries both. In the document, we see by the numbers, 42 people in the room, 7 questions asked, 17 chat messages, the top requested topic, well, you guessed it, agents. And as we scroll, we see a rich document that Cowork has built. We had 3 different talks, the first on building AI agents in Copilot Studio, ALM patterns, and we also see direct quotes from the session. How did Cowork get this? Well, using WorkIQ while the meeting was being transcribed. And as we scroll, Cowork doesn't just deal with text, it also builds rich visuals to help us understand what happened in the session, all the better. And we also have a deck here that Cowork has created. So it's used the exact same data to build this deck. We see the title slide, the night and 4 numbers, 3 takeaways, who took the stage, rich charts and rich graphs. Folks, give it up for Cowork. And like I said, I enabled the newsletter builder and the Sound Like Me skill. Well, I wanted Cowork to write just like I did. I didn't want any AI slop. So I enabled this skill so that Cowork would write this LinkedIn post just like me. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, this is actually pretty close to how I sound. The energy, the hashtags, all of that. And the best part, Cowork has now reached into my Outlook folder and drafted this email to the user group. And how do I know? Well, you can see down here that it says sent by Cowork. This draft is ready for review. Cowork starts by thanking the community, the quick recap, the biggest takeaways, and so much more. Now, it's also attached the PowerPoint deck that it created based on my instructions. And this looks pretty good, so I think it's good to go. I'm going to send it off. Now, are we ready for the task that you and I started? The Q2 solution review. Cowork is done. We can see that it went through the plan and executed. But I want to draw your attention to something right here. We see a new skill, the HTML skill. So Cowork doesn't just build documents, it can also write code. And if we see right here, it's built this rich visual. We can see the monthly active users from data that we pulled in from Dynamics, adoption rate, open cases. And it's also built this rich interactive scorecard. Now, this is something that functions like an app. Maybe not a real app, but more of a disposable one that would help me communicate more clearly on Monday morning. And we see down here, we see the ask that Anders asked for from the CFO. We see the case ID, the account, the theme, the priority, and we also see the revenue at risk for each of these cases. Now, Cowork didn't just build me a document, it built me this artifact that functions like an app. And this looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm simply going to send it off to Anders to have a review, and I'm also going to CC Mitty on the review. Folks, there are a whole new class of applications and artifacts that we wouldn't necessarily build software for, but now we can with Cowork. 2 pieces of work landed. A community recap on its way to 40 people who trusted me with their Thursday evening. A revenue at risk review on its way to a CFO who's betting on me on Monday morning. The community side of your work, the customer side of your work. Cowork doesn't choose, it handles both. You came into this room with so much work. The weekend recap, the long nights, the projects you've always wanted to do but never had the time. That ends now. This is Copilot Cowork. And it's not the AI tool that helps you work. It's the AI tool that does the work. So let us get to work. Tusen tak, Copenhagen. Thank you, Copenhagen. Ryan, back to you.